let's go inside the life and home of multi-talented actor and comedian Danny Kaye. Danny Kaye began his career in the 1930s as a comic entertainer and quickly became known for his rapid-fire scat singing and pantomime. In the 1940s, he had his breakthrough on the Broadway hit Lady in the Dark, where he sang the tongue-twisting song of Tchaikovsky and named 54 Russian composers in 38 seconds, seemingly without taking a breath. Hollywood took notice and studios quickly signed him so he could perform in standout roles like Wonder Man and The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Most famously, he starred alongside Bing Crosby in White Christmas, showcasing his exceptional talent and range as a dancer, singer and actor. While Danny Kaye spent a lot of time in front of the camera, behind the scenes he loved being at home. His daughter shared that he liked to flake out, as he called it, on the couch for days at a time when he had a break from work, just watching talk shows, Julia Child and the Dodgers, and eating black licorice and BLTs. Kaye and his wife, Sylvia Fine, also preferred to entertain friends like Cary Grant, Audrey Hepburn and Bing Crosby at home rather than going out on the town. They lived in a charming wisteria-covered home in Beverly Hills, with neighbours that include Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, Jack Benny and Fred Astaire. As we begin the home tour, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you enjoy the content. We appreciate your viewership and love new subscribers. Now back to Danny Kaye's home. The 6,600 square foot home was designed in 1932 for Mrs. R.B. Fudger by Roland E. Coate. It was considered small by Hollywood standards, as well as unusual because it was perfectly proportioned and set off by the purple hues of jacaranda trees and wisteria tumbling down its facade. Danny and his wife Sylvia began renting the home in 1949 and a year later bought it from the director, Lewis Milestone, who was well known for films like Mutiny on the Bounty and Of Mice and Men. For more than 4 decades, the house was an anchor for Danny, Sylvia and their daughter Dana, and served as a place where they could retreat and get grounded in their own way. While they lived there, they added to the architecture by taking on projects like building an indoor lap pool that was 50 foot long, 8 foot wide, 5 foot deep and chlorine free. Sylvia, a lyricist and composer, wrote many of her husband's musical routines in the living room, and it's said that she would sit at the piano in a corner of the room from dusk until dawn, composing songs for Danny's movies and stage appearances. When entertaining, she would often play the piano so guests could gather around and sing. The Kayes also enjoyed displaying fine art in their living room and throughout their home. Over the wooden pharmacy chest, you'll find an abstract painting by Ronaldo de Juan, and above the fireplace is a pastel drawing on paper by Mary Cassatt. But the music room was where the family spent most of their time and was considered the second heartbeat of the house after the kitchen. It was relaxed, warm and inviting, with earth-tone cushy furniture, a TV and a bar. The couch was Danny's favourite spot, where he loved napping and eating in front of the TV, and at dinner you'd find the family eating together in the music room, watching their favourite programmes. This was also where Danny and Sylvia conducted business and had meetings. The room was designed specifically with hi-fi furniture to ensure optimum acoustic conditions and perfect sound reproduction. The true heartbeat of the home was the kitchen though. Danny Kaye's love for cooking grew over the years. What started as a Christmas morning tradition of scrambling eggs, onions and green peppers progressed into making tempura and feathery fettuccine. As his passion for cooking evolved, so did his kitchen. He was very interested in Chinese cuisine and started an informal, self-appointed apprenticeship with the chefs at Johnny Can's restaurant in San Francisco. Soon, a room that was once off-white with ruffled curtains transformed into a Chinese kitchen, equipped with several refrigerators and an industrial restaurant stove with 3 woks and an oven for cooking Peking duck. After purchasing the Chinese restaurant stove, he not only had to have an extra gas line installed to the house, but needed to add a whole new room. On the shelves, he kept ingredients like mushrooms and spices, and Danny liked to find traditional lanterns in Chinatown, mix them with modern ones from Copenhagen, and hang them to decorate the space. Danny's tour de force was a 9-course Chinese meal that took over 24 hours to prepare. He made such a variety of food that he would double check his guest list so no one ate the same thing twice. Those who were lucky enough to be invited to dinner by Danny would quickly pick up on his 2 rules. If you were late, God help you, and there were no ties allowed. Even the King of Sweden had to take off his tie. Of course, he was the same entertainer at the kitchen stove as he was on a Broadway stage. Once, Audrey Hepburn even made the comment that watching him cook was like watching a great ballet dancer. Guests of these gatherings can recall watching him fancifully chopping and pounding around the steam in the kitchen, never sitting until dessert. And with each plate he laid on the table, he would command, "Don't look at it, eat it." One wall decoration in his kitchen that bears a special significance is a hand-painted black calligraphy drawing given to him by one of the chefs after his early days in the Johnny Can kitchen. It simply says in Chinese, "Danny Kaye, skilled hands." The formal dining room with its cool greens and yellow vintage design was most often used for dessert after Chinese dinners or big parties. The oak sideboard in the bay window displayed several of the Kaye's Chinese export porcelain tureens and stands. This home is a true testament to the many talents of Danny Kaye, from being an accomplished chef to an iconic performer. But beyond that, he was also a humanitarian. Danny Kaye's work with UNICEF became one of the defining aspects of his later life, showcasing his deep commitment to humanitarian causes. In 1953, Kaye became the first ambassador at large for the United Nations Children's Fund, a role he embraced with enthusiasm. Over the next 3 decades, he dedicated much of his time and energy to raising awareness and funds for children in need around the world. Kaye's involvement with UNICEF was far more than a symbolic gesture. He logged thousands of miles traveling to remote and underserved areas, often piloting his own plane. His efforts included visiting refugee camps, delivering supplies, and documenting the conditions faced by children in war-torn and impoverished regions. His charismatic presence helped bring global attention to UNICEF's work, making him one of the most effective advocates for the organization. For his tireless advocacy, Kaye was awarded numerous honors, including the prestigious Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award in 1982. His dedication to UNICEF's mission left a lasting impact, helping to ensure better lives for countless children worldwide. Danny Kaye passed away in 1987, but his legacy continues to inspire the next generation. Now, if you enjoyed the content of this video, please like and subscribe to see more home tours like Danny Kaye's beloved home.